What's good, YouTube? This is Rage Real. So in today's video, I want to show you guys this Team and Scheme series part 14. So if you enjoyed this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go in and sub and turn those post notifications on. So we are actually talking about the 49ers and gun bunch offset. Now, what I want to say is that tight end Apprentice really does make bunch offset one of the best bunches in Madden as far as, you know, deadliest combos, because the 49ers with George Kittle, and then also you have Deebo Samuel, you also have Trey Lance, and then you also have Benjamin, who's actually, he's pretty good. He's actually 90 something speed, and also we do have Ayuk, who is about, I think he's actually 90 speed as well. So all in all, it's actually really good. And you also have a great offensive line, because you do have Trent Williams, who is 98 overall, who does have abilities. Now you do have 80, 85, 67, but you know, you can actually sub in maybe a right tackle right here to get somebody a little bit better. So it's very, very nice to have a bunch as far as their offense. Now I do want to go ahead and sub in Trey Lance. And I only like Trey Lance because he actually does have a lot better throw power with Jimmy G. But you can go check those stats yourself, because I don't want to spend any time on that. But without further ado, man, let's dive right into this. So I only want to show you guys one setup. Actually, I'm gonna have two setups for you, and I'm gonna quickly go through them. Then we're gonna hop right into gameplay, because I actually have a really nice gameplay for you guys when I actually use this offense. Now we're gonna do this out of verts, but you can do this out of any play and bunch technically, which is why I really love this setup. Now versus, we're gonna look at the dollar, of course, because it's a, you know, DB type of defense. So you can tell I did sub in some garbage D line, so I got time. We do have fast linebackers, well, fast safeties at the linebacker position, and we do have, you know, speed all around in other places. So let's start off in cover 3. Now, when you run bunch, you always want to make sure you run your bunch to the wide side. That's why I have it to the wide side. Now, for this setup, it's a universal setup. So you want to take circle, put them on an out route. You want to smart route as out route. You want to take R1, put him on a streak, and then you want to take X and actually put him on a post route just like this. And finally, you want to take square and put him on a hitch or a smoke screen. Now, this setup right here is designed to beat every single coverage other than cover 2, essentially. And I'll show you that here right now. But we actually have a play that a one-play touchdown cover 2. Now, this play also will one-play touchdown cover 3. All you need to do is take circle and motion them out and let them go about to the numbers. And what you're going to realize, if they don't bump right there, even if they do, you're still going to be able to have a nice little throw out there. And you want to put your fastest receiver in at the R1 position if you know they're playing cover 3. So how I like doing it is I like putting my best receiver right here in this position. I like putting my second best right here. Then I like putting my third out here. That's normally how I like to do it with a bunch, but you can run it however you want to. But I recommend just having your best player here if you're trying to bomb cover 3. Now again, I'm actually going to back off that corner on R1 just so you can see what happens if they don't get bumped. So let's set it up again for real quick. Here we go. So all I did was take circle, put them on a smart route, an out route, and then streak, and then post, and then smoke screen, you know, square right there. And you want to make sure you motion. So look what happens if you don't motion them. Notice how we don't get that nice throw, and notice how we throw a pick. So that's why it is extremely important to motion them. Please do not forget to motion that player out there. So I'll show you one more time. Then after that, we're going to get in gameplay. Now I'm only backing off R1 so I can show you what happens if they don't bump them. Because if they zone drop at any time, then a lot of times that route is not going to get bumped. It's going to be able to be ran free. So let me take them, motion them out. And like I said, you can motion them to the numbers, and normally you're good. So notice what happens if he actually does not get bumped. So AKA that'll happen if they play any type of zone drop. But if they zone chuck, you still have one play touchdown as well. Now, of course, deep half will take that away. Just to want to make sure I did clarify that. Deep half will take that away. Now, cover 2. Now, you can use the same setup for cover 2. It's just there's a lot better ways to actually bomb cover 2 for one play touchdown. But I'll show you what it looks like versus cover 2 in case you're curious. And also, it all depends on if there's zone drop and you know what's going on. Because a lot of times you're going to have to make that read between X and square, all depending on what that cornerback does. That's what I love to do. So quickly, I'll go into replay really quick, because cover 2 is the only one that I don't like this concept against. So if they happen to play cover 2, you really just want to make this high-low between this route and this route. So you could have noticed I kind of could have threw both of them, because it makes the cornerback play in no man's land. So notice how he's not guarding either one of these is kind of what I mean by that. Now, sometimes you can have this throw right here if they're using this vertical hook, because a lot of times they'll follow this tight end route right here a lot of times. Or if they're zone dropping incorrectly, this guy will be back some. You can actually throw that out route out there. So you can run that against cover 2. But my favorite setup versus cover 2, so this is the last setup I want to give you guys. So basically, my favorite setup for cover 2 is you actually want to go to this PA read play. Now, what I like to do is to X put them on a corner route. And I like to smart route his corner route to 10 yards. and then I like to take, now technically you can run it like this, but me personally, I like to take R1, put him on the in route. I like the smart route as in route, and I like to take square, put him on a smoke screen. So this is my favorite setup. You want to take that guy and motion him out just like this. And then what's going to happen is we're going to be able to split those safeties for a one-play touchdown against cover 2. So notice how that corner is going to get, well, that safety is going to get moved, excuse me, and then we'll have a nice little window we can throw the ball. Now, I just want to show you that you technically don't have to change Square's route. You can leave him on that comeback route, but I believe you need to make sure you change R1's route, because I believe that mid-read actually will follow our R1 route, which I'll show you here real quick and just kind of see. So kind of watch, we should be able to actually run it just like this to get the same results. Yep, so there you go. We can actually run it that way too. So if you just want to take him and put him on an out route, you definitely can. And also, you can technically run this play stop too. I just like the corner route in case it's man coverage, which I'll show you guys real quick. So let's just do cover 2 real quick, because you can technically run this play stock and it should actually still be able to one-play touchdown cover 2. Just wanted to make sure I clarified that. So notice how right there, you can tell we still are going to be able to one-play touchdown and just stock. So you could just go to it, snap the ball, boom, you're good. Now, I love, the reason I showed you that, because versus man coverage though, if they play man, then I like this setup a lot better. So we can take X, put them on a corner route, smart route is corner route, and then we can take square and put them on a smoke screen, R1 on in route, smart route is just like this. Or you can put them on a comeback. It completely up to you. But essentially, you want to make a read between X, R1, and circle. That's exactly how you want to read. You want to see where the user goes. And what you're looking for, if they're playing aggressive style man, you're looking to split those safeties. So notice how those safeties move. Now, obviously, that's G. Alexander on Ayuk, so he's not going to be able to get separation, but that's exactly how you want to read that. Now, last thing I will talk about is cover 4 drop. Then we're going to get right into this gameplay that I have for you guys. So let's go and do the first setup right here. Take R1, put him on a streak, X on a post, square on the smoke screen. We're gonna go ahead and motion them out, and like I said, it's the same kind of principle. So notice how circle could get open, and also you can have X right there in that little gap. So without further ado, man, let's dive right into this gameplay. All right, man, so I actually have a fire gameplay for you guys against the Eagles. And like I said, normally I just load up in games, and then whatever game, you know, however it goes, I normally just give it to you. So we actually have a small little win streak going. I believe I'm on like a 5-game win streak, because one of the last games I played before in the past, I actually got a DC on it. So it's one of those unfortunate things, but you know, regardless, I'm not, like I said, I'm not playing this to even win or be ranked or nothing like that. Just give you guys some good gameplay, you know. So right here, this is the read option, so that's why I actually like this offense. And right there, I should have gave the ball, completely whiffed on that, but the reason I like it is because Trey Lance, you can actually run around with him a little bit. And also, as you guys know, they do have Raheem Mostert still on here, so you know, he does have what, 94, 95 speed, might be 96 even. So a lot of speed, man. And of course, you know, the 49ers defense is what makes the 49ers just so difficult to deal with on Madden. So you just have yourself, you really should have no business losing, and that's what this scheme is dedicated for. Now right here, this is actually a man coverage setup beater, so I have basically all my reads open versus man. So notice I have triangle, I have X, and I just you know, I get it under pressure and accurate. So unfortunate, but you can tell he was playing man coverage. And the reason I love this offense is because there's just so many routes on the field that will torch man coverage, so they cannot sit in man. Now, one thing you know is you cannot play zone against bunch unless you truly understand what you're doing. That is the only way you can play zone versus bunch, because most people, they're not going to know how to defend bunch, so they're going to go with man coverage. Now, this setup right here is specifically for man coverage and cover 2, because square is going to split those safeties in cover 2, and X is going to toast his man. You can tell right there that zig route is going to toast man as well. It all depends on the matchup, but that zig route, as you can tell on dig return, it's so nice. You guys already know zig routes are really good on Madden, and in routes are really good on Madden. Now that delay post, I like it, but it takes a while to develop, so just be very cautious with it. Now right here, my opponent was giving me a look like he was blitzing, so I blocked my running back, and basically my quick reads are going to be X, and I'm a motion over R1, and circle is going to be just in case. That's kind of how I planned it. So I put square on the drag just in case he's shading his man coverage over the top. You can tell he actually bluffed me, but it's cool because we're going to take our drag, and he played his zones too far back, so we were able to sneak in the first down right there. So one thing I will tell you guys, don't get nervous if they're showing blitz. Just kind of see what your opponent's tendencies are, because sometimes people will just show it just to make you block everybody, and they'll just send out, you know, 7 people in coverage. Yeah, 7 or 8 people in coverage, depending on, you know, how many people they want to rush. But anyways, the reason I love this offense, man, you know, it's bunch, you know, so it's not hard to just it's not hard to move the ball a bunch. But right here you can tell this is the setup I gave you guys. So I love this setup versus cover 3. Anything that's not cover 2, I love this setup. So right there, also, like I told you, is that running back route is so good. And also I could have threw that out route, yes, but hey, I'm human, so I miss reads too. You know, something I try to work on is, you know, trying to make sure I hit my reads, because one thing I notice about me is I have a problem with staring down somebody. So basically I see where the user goes, he goes to the other side, so sometimes I still, you know, get baited by accident. So, you know, it's all part of the game, you know, but my job is to give you guys great setups for you guys to use and actually, you know, they actually work. So that's why I get my enjoyment from you guys giving me feedback saying like, hey, you know, I'm using this, or I use some of your setups, I love it. That's what I'm here for, you know. So right there, I really wanted circle for that one play touchdown. So if you pay attention, it actually would have got open had I had a tiny bit more time, or if I had somebody just a little bit faster, it definitely would have got open. So that's actually a nice little quarters or, you know, match beater type of play. It can be. So right here, my opponent's giving me the look like he wants to blitz. So normally I like to respect that look by blocking 6. Normally I would try not to block 7 almost ever, just because a lot of times they're going to be bluffing unless they're just literally sending it every play. And that's the reason why right there, is because a lot of times when they're going to send 6, that normally means that they're going to play all out man coverage with their user trying to go whatever they see. And normally I'm going to attack that by, you know, having nothing but man coverage beaters out on the field. So that's basically how you got to do it, man. You got to just kind of anticipate stuff and then have reads ready. So that's the best way I can put it. Now right here, we actually do make the correct read right there, but you can tell he actually got a face mask. And if you guys know, the only time you get a face mask in on a Madden is if you have your tackling on aggressive. And I don't even understand why people do that. It doesn't seem worth it, because I don't know, maybe you guys will be able to watch throughout the game, because keep in mind that penalty happened. So keep in mind he did have it on all the way up until then, and you guys can be able to see that it really wasn't like a major difference. Now I hope that's something that they fix on Madden, you know, like moving forward, because it's a lot of features on here that are kind of cool, but they just don't work how they're supposed to. Like, for example, if I turn my blocking on aggressive, then I expect to never, you know, get shedded, and you know, you still get sheds on there. Or, you know, like I said, tackling on aggressive, you have that, I expect you know, fumbles. Like every other play I expect. You see that kind of hit right there? I expect that every single time if I was to put my tackling on aggressive, you know. But it just sucks because it's, you know, that's not a thing in Madden, you know, so you can't really play that mind game. So it's always just best, honestly, to leave it on balance, unless you're talking about, like, you know, matching up people with like speed, you know, or height or something. Okay, yeah, do that. But even then, that function is kind of broken, because when you start motioning people, that actually messes up your whole entire defense, which, you know, like I said, it's like they just can't get it right, you know. But right there, I don't know why Trey made that a hard throw. That should have been an easy throw. We could have easily threw that to the sideline. But thankfully, it's George Kittle. So you guys know they're going to kind of cheat for Kittle. But I don't understand why my opponent is in 3-4 as well. I feel like he would have had more success. Maybe he came out in something like a mid-blitz type of formation, because it seems like he wants to crowd the line. Maybe he just didn't have it in his playbook, but I'm never a fan of that. And right there, I wish they'll fix that too, because you guys can see he was literally wide open. I probably would have got like on a 5-yard line or so, but you know, it is what it is. So I noticed he was playing cover 2. So at this point, I'm trying to think, because he's been switching up his coverages. If you guys notice, he'll go cover 4, he'll go cover 2, he'll go some man coverage. So he's doing a great job of that. So right here, I'm thinking cover 2. So what I'm about to do is actually put a flood concept. So basically what should happen, I should have R1 wide open, and I put the tight end is already on a flat route to hold that cornerback. And all I need to do is get out the pocket. So I noticed that I don't get the double team that I'm looking for. I try to escape out the pocket. Boom, we're gonna go ahead and take a sack. Now I still noticed he was playing cover 2, and when I snapped the ball, he still showed that he was playing cover 2 on the back end. So what I'm gonna do now is actually say, okay, well, if he's gonna keep giving me cover 2, then at first I was thinking about hitting the R1 route, circle route, excuse me, on the break off with the S post, and that's why I was kind of putting up the zig concept too, to kind of try to clear it out. So right there, we kind of ran out of time, and at this point, I was like, okay, well, I'm probably overcomplicating this, so let me just go back to the basics, because I realized that I didn't even get a chance to use the setup that I originally did. So I went back to the same play, and what I did was put X on a streak, and that streak is going to hold that D path. So if that's a cover 2 D path, he's going to get held by X, and then R1 basically should be running naked in the back of the end zone. That's the way it should look. And if the user is aggressive on R1, we're going to look for square. So that's the game plan. So I noticed that right there, we actually had some separation. I know there was no way he's going to be able to recover from that, because he's got caught playing down low with his eyes, and we were able to throw it over the top. So a lot of times, man, it's really just, you know, breaking down your opponent, seeing what his tendencies are. I promise you guys, you could beat half the community if you just pay attention motion and what they do, because what you realize is that people don't do too much on Madden. They normally like to stick to a game plan, you know, even in real life, you know, people stick to a game plan, you know, like the 49ers, they have their game plan, you know, you basically they're basically trying to run the ball. You know, like somebody like the Chiefs, they're basically trying to throw the ball. So like you can have a game plan. So right there, we actually caught him actually not playing. We got the terriblest animation. I hate those animations because we literally would have got right into the end zone. But hey, you know, we got to die. So that's why I said this offense is crazy, because if you start, you know, trying to do too much, you can actually get exploited, because we're always going to have deep routes that can attack, you know, those deeper zones. So basically, you can't just sit in cover two. You can't sit in cover two with a middle third, because you'll just be giving up the run all day. So, you know, it's just a lot to try to guard. So right here is another one of my favorite concepts, but I really wanted square, but he took it away. So I'm actually going to playmaker, and then we got George Kittle right there. So my thought process now is, okay, burn a timeout, try to look for the end zone. If the end zone's not there, you know, throw it down, throw it out of bounds, and then kick a field goal. So that way, you know, we get something out of this drive, you know. So I'm not really looking for a touchdown right off the bat, but if it's there, you know, obviously I'll take my chances on it, basically. So this setup right here, so I'm thinking he's playing cover two, so I'm going to put X on the out route to hold that right deep half, and then basically we got square on the corner route to hold that left one. So he didn't play cover two, well, he did, but his user is right there, so we're just going to throw it out of bounds, but we can just get the worst animation. So we basically get no yards right there, even though we had a man wide open, and he's really loving this cover two. So my thought process is, okay, how do I move his user out of the middle, because he's wanting to play the middle. He's basically wanting to play the mid read himself. So at this point, I'm thinking about square. So I put X to hold the deep half, and I got square on the wheel route, but I don't like what I see. So I check it down, I actually fall down, and I press timeout. But one of the unfortunate things on there is if they just do like the little runoff thing, it's really aggravating. But so basically we get no points, but it's cool because you guys just seen we actually get the ball right back, because he did get ball at half. So now we have the ball, tie game. So any points here is just good points. I'm really just looking for, if I get a touchdown, cool, but if I get a field goal, okay, you know, I'm actually really comfortable with that. So this is the setup I gave you guys. So just kind of look, notice how square is going to be wide open, and this setup is so good because they're going to have to play their zones correctly. So if they want to stop this concept, they have to play a double Mabel, but playing double Mabel versus bunch is really hard because there's a lot of plays that can exploit a double Mabel coverage inside a bunch offset. So the reason I don't run bunch offset, you guys might wonder, is just because it's so meta. Honestly, that's really it. You know, I like just playing off meta things, doing off meta stuff. So that's why I have this series going where I show you guys, you don't have to just sit in these overrated offenses, but you know, and well, actually, technically, I just lied to you. So this series is actually dedicated for that. But right here, look at R1. So like I said, just bunches. It's just, you could actually manipulate coverages at will. That's what makes bunch so good. But like I said, I really love this series because it's letting me play with all these teams, and you know, it's actually fun at this point forward because while we actually got all the good teams out the way. So the remaining teams are just like kind of like your mid tier or a little upper tier and then low tier teams with these, you know, basically going to be somewhat meta formations, if that makes sense. So just in case you want to play with a team, you wonder like, okay, what's the best scheme I could do with them? You know, that's what this scheme's dedicated. Well, what this series is dedicated for. So right here, basically, is just a basically like a double crosser type of setup. So we're just gonna be looking to get over the top of zone coverages. But he actually played his zones extremely deep. But if we had time, we actually still could have had R1 just because of how deep that route is ran. But you know, a lot of times you just don't have that kind of time in Madden. But it's cool though. So right here, 2nd and 18. You guys can tell, it's just you can do so much out of bunch. It's just almost not fair. So right here, we're gonna actually take George Kittle, put him on the post, and then we're gonna take square, put him on an in route, and then we actually small right out route. So we're actually still looking for a cover 3 beater right here. So kind of watch that safety. Watch what happens with him. Notice how he's gonna get glitched out, and then we're actually going to throw that right above him for the 1-play touchdown. And like I said, bunch offset is just glitchy, man. It's just glitchy. So the reason why that post actually got to pull that safety down, now that doesn't always happen, okay? So don't think that always happens with the safety. It's just like I said, it's just something to look for. So if you know they're playing cover 3, use that setup because sometimes you get glitchy stuff like that, you know. So you can tell right here, we actually our opponent did score, so now we're actually just any points. This game just over at that point. So we're gonna take a motion him out, and we're gonna do a flood concept. Now I think he ran commit. I don't know why he ran commit. Maybe it was an accident because he hadn't ran commit the whole game, and we're just gonna celebrate just because. And that's basically how we're gonna walk into that end zone. So you can tell right here, we actually did get the ball right back. So you can kind of see what happened right there. He tried to throw the ball, and somebody called the pick. I don't remember who. Probably was our user. But anyways, we're gonna try to put some more points on the board. So right here, I'm gonna flip the offense. Why do I flip it? Because you always want your bunch to the wide side. That's literally why. So you can actually, you know, attack whatever side of the field you want. Now, one thing I like to do is this setup right here. So we're going to take a square, put them on a drag. And we got a corner out going. So basically, we're looking to bomb coverages with this setup. But I just ran out of time. Because that setup right there is actually really good versus man coverage and match coverage. Really fire, honestly, because you're going to have almost everything on the field that can beat man coverage. Now, please use these setups with already setups that you already know from bunch, and honestly, there should never be a reason you lose. Honestly, the only way you should lose is if you just can't stop your opponent, and then they just, you know, they get one lucky stop or something. You make one bad read. That's really the only way you lose with, you know, bunch style offenses, just because it's bunch. It's been good since Madden, what, 19? But anyway, right here, this, like I told you guys, this is my favorite setup, the split safety. So watch circle. That's who I was looking at the whole time, but I think the mid read, yeah, that was a mid read. I actually went and played it, but it was cool because I actually had time just to check it down to my receiver, which again is why bunch is so good, because every single route is almost unique in bunch, and there's just too much. There's too much. You really can't blitz it as much because you have the ability to block 7 or even 8 if you wanted to, but like I said, I would never ever recommend you to block 8. Please don't ever block 8. If you feel like you need to block 8, you just need to work on making your quick reads or putting together concepts that help you make quick reads, which is what I do on my channel. So anyways, right here, I was really looking deep. I was wanting circle so bad, but he actually played a mid read, and that's the only unfortunate thing is with that particular play, that dig return with that little delay post. I couldn't think of the name of it. So with that delay post, a mid read actually will play that. So if they put a mid read, don't run that play. But if they don't have a mid read, it's actually really a nice man coverage beater, honestly. So also, I forgot to mention, I know we're 15 minutes into this video, 14 minutes, but I'm in the Colts playbook. I know I forgot to mention that, but I'm in the Colts playbook. I know I'm gonna have to say it in the comments, but I'm in the Colts playbook. For those of you guys that probably didn't make it this far before you asked, I'm in the Colts playbook. But look at this, 16 for 21, 443 yards for 4 touchdowns. That's insane. That is literally insane. Now I know he has the Eagles. I know you're saying real. He has the Eagles, but it's still insane, you know. So right here we got a post. We're gonna motion that post across. So this actually is a really nice setup. So we're gonna have a double post, double drag concept, and basically we're gonna make a read. Now I got it under pressure and accurate, but I was trying to fit that ball in that gap, but really I just threw it, and I really hate when people do that, you know, where you're beating them bad and they just want to celebrate. I mean, it's whatever though. But great game to Zaps XK32. Good game to him. And yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I do hope you guys have a blessed day. I'm Rage Real, and I'm out.